By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to sign your next 20 clients, because I'm going to give you my exact outreach strategy that I use to make $2 to $3 million every single month, and has allowed me to work with amazing clients such as Chris Williamson, Ali Abdaal, Grace Beverly, Ashton Hall, and brands such as Gymshark, Samsung, and many others. So I'm going to show you my exact strategy that I use versus what everyone else is using in the market today, which is the automated cold outreach that we all get. Not only that, I'm going to be showing you the actual math and data behind the two approaches. I'm going to be walking through the exact examples of each and teach you my actual framework so you can take away the strategy and apply it to your business and start signing your next clients, customers very, very fast. So the very first thing is we're going to be comparing the automated AI cold outreach, essentially what everybody does today, with my manual cold, essentially what I call hot outreach. And it's what I did to make $100 million with my agency, Genflow. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sean. I run an agency called Genflow, which I started 8 years ago. And in that time, I have sold $100 million in actual services, not through courses or anything else, in actual services where people pay me retainers, one-off fees in order to do that. And this exact strategy is what I use to do that. And what's crazy to me is that everyone else does something which, it works, but it wouldn't work in the stage you're probably at, which is you're trying to scale your business to a few $100,000 per month. So let's dive straight in. So we all know, we've all get emails like this every single day. So what I've done here is I've pulled through some of the emails that I get. I'm going to walk you through essentially what people are doing today and what you should be doing instead, right? So this, we all see these emails every single day coming into our inboxes, and everyone's trying it. Everyone thinks this is going to work. And, the point is it's tough. And as you can see here, someone's saying, so you're hiring for a remote SDR through your job on ad on LinkedIn. I assume that's because they've scraped LinkedIn and they can see we have a job out. So obviously that's a bit of personalization. Then it goes on to basically sell the thing. We've engineered a unique solution, hiring on its head. Reps will perform. We can guarantee it mathematically. It doesn't cost you a dime. Classic, you don't have to pay nothing, angle. Our system identifies top performers, right? No need to jump in a 30-minute long demo. Happy to run compatibility. Can I send over a short form? Classic cold outreach. Want you to commit by response. Didn't add any links. Didn't do anything. Want high deliverability, right? And etc. Next, and to be honest, these are not the best examples. I just wanted to pull some real ones that I actually get. It doesn't mean people are doing such a great job, but just to walk through, this is what we get today, right? This is people like yourselves trying to, someone like you trying to get clients. Maybe you're better than this, but this is the most common approach. Sean, it'd be great to connect. Let me know if there's relevance. Neverblind is some studio where did we do this and that. Here's a link. Would you be able to hearing agency perspectives? Like, I don't even know what they're trying to say. Next, curious, do you struggle with your personal brand? I'm asking because you specialize in helping entrepreneurs like you unlock new levels of value, looking to do blah, blah, blah. We've got Taylor say comment reply, yes. Obviously, they'll have a 3, email sequence ready if I was to go back and say yes. This is another one. I love the work you're doing. We help creators like Dr. Ken grow by this. These are like terrible templates that people are using because I don't know who Dr. Ken is. I don't care. Would you open to a 10-minute quick call? No. But, you can see the approach. Just notice your agency, Genflow, obviously insert company name in brackets. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I like your brand. I have a few ideas. Obviously, what does your calendar look like? Again, same thing. So you posted 3 videos last month on YouTube. So they're obviously scraping that information potentially. As you can see, this outreach, is not the best. And the truth is you can do it better. And there are some amazing tools and things out now to be able to do better cold outreach. So let's take a look at that. So today, what is the latest best approach for cold outreach, right? So I think the guys above that are sending those emails aren't doing a better job. And you can do it better. But I still think what I will show you at the end, which is my method and why that's better. But let's jump into how can you make very good cold outreach emails. Ultimately, this is what everybody's doing today. And if you were to watch any of the other guys on YouTube that are telling you the latest AI, secret to your business scale and you signing lots of clients and booking lots of calls and all that stuff, this is what they're telling you, right? This is what normally works. You'd use something like Apollo, you'll find lots of leads. And essentially will look like something like this. You found some people, the emails, maybe even phone numbers, and there's a bunch of different criteria you can go through to do that, right? Once you've done that, you want to start enriching those leads, getting contextual data in, recent post, hiring, this, that, whatever. And Clay AI is very good at that. And something like that looks like this. You essentially can start pulling in lots of different, information through scraping about somebody and essentially industry, different triggers, similar companies, results, time frame, name, subject line, and it goes beyond that. You can get a lot of stuff like someone's recent post, etc. All the stuff to personalize it, right? Because if it's personalized, that's why I hate the word personalized, because real personalization is something where you're actually personalizing it, but this is like information online that you're kind of putting into a template and it's personalized. Ultimately, then you start using AI to generate personalized first lines. You can use instantly, and people use then obviously start using ChatGPT, Claude to then physically write a template. You'll then go and add more variables in. Then you're gonna start buying your domains, your emails, your inboxes, and you use like Smartlead or something. You start sending it out, right? So this is like the best way to do cold out email. Is what you probably are doing today, or you're trying to learn how to do today, and you're trying to get better at it. So what that looks like is going to be something like this, where it's like, hey, first name, some personalization, love seeing your company name, it's pushing boundaries in industry. I noticed something that I guess you'll find online. And it's just to remind me of what we did, and look, here's some result we can do in a certain time frame, etc. Would you ever do a 50-minute brainstorm, right? So this is essentially what, I guess the biggest YouTubers in the space, or people that sell a course for $10,000-$15,000, essentially this is what they're teaching you, right? Saying this is how you sign clients in 2025, right? This is you being smart using AI, this is the future. And I get it, right? Because ultimately, you want to find hacks. You want to find ways to be able to do this, and it's automated. You don't have to do it yourself. The amount of agency owners I've spoken with, and they're like, yeah, I just want it to be done for me, right? Like, I just want to have a system that just, gets me leads on automation, and I don't have to do anything, right? So I get it. But I just want to kind of put it out there. This is the approach today. And look, the truth is it is getting better every single year, but let's dive into some examples to kind of see how does it play out in reality. So I sat and did some of, essentially I created a template, as you can see here. Then I filled the template with actual information to kind of show you real life examples. So content creation service example, ultimately you are selling your service as a content creating business, an agency, and this is my template. So when the template is filled, this is how it would come across. Your YouTube content is insanely valuable. The recent vid on time blocking was fire. I noticed you're only clipping a few bits. We help people like Sahil Bloom turn his long form into 12 short form, and that 4x'd his sales. You're sitting on a gold mine of long form. Want me to show you how to do this one video? So in reality, this is a very good automated cold outreach based on the ones that I get. But I was like, let me try and make the best possible and see what that looks like, right? So that's what it looks like. Here's another example. Is this for a paid ad service, and I'm targeting an e-com founder from my leads? Hey, Julie, I've been following you on, Snug on TikTok. Your recent sleep personality was amazing. Saw your meta ad library is filling up and you're starting to experiment with these hooks. We help some other company go from 300K to 1.1 million in 90 days using some my creative and media buying system. I'd love to walk you through what you think. And I know you're probably reading that thinking, yo, this is actually pretty good, right? If I could write emails like this, this seems amazing because we've got some personalization in there. We've talked about, a result that we've driven for somebody else, like a big result in a time frame. Like, this looks good, right? For me, the crazy thing is that even though this is very good, this still is missing the fundamental thing when you're trying to sign somebody, when you're trying to convince someone to actually work with you. And that is, it's ultimately missing what you can actually do for them, i.e. like, why would they pay you? Even though this is great, and I'll tell you what that is. For example, if you were to email this to somebody, it's just fluff, right? Because you're saying, I've been following you, cool. A bit of personalization, great. But the problem starts here where you're like, I saw your libraries filling up, experiment with UGC storyboards, you're in the sweet spot for scale. We've helped this. It actually doesn't say what you could actually do, right? So ultimately, in this example, and I get it's an example, but I think it's a very good example from everything that I know, you're still not saying to this e-com founder what you could actually do. You're pointing the obvious, right? So you're pointing something about them, fine. You're pointing the obvious that they have lots of stuff, great. And then you're just saying, because we've helped somebody else do it, I think I could tell you like how we could help you. But you actually haven't said, how could you help you? Like, there's nothing in this that will make someone think, I need to speak to Sean, because you're just kind of stating the obvious. And that's what I find with, like, no matter how much you go to personalize it through the tools, it's never going to have the actual point. What do I mean by that? So I wrote some examples myself to kind of show you like what that would be. So if you would, if you were to write a manual email yourself, right? So as an example, you have the ability to be able to actually add the true insight into what can you actually do for somebody. And that's the trick. So here's an example. In this example here, I've just read that it fits that criteria where it's a small brand, they got terrible ads and they're not so good at it. So improve your ads, and I guess so what the subject should be is improve your ads, drive more revenue. This is how. Got hit with the ad yesterday, love the branding. I immediately noticed the format of the script and the pacing of the video was not good. Instead, I would change it to the following, basically, an agreeable statement hook. Don't you just hate when a new t-shirt stretches in 2 times you wear it? Then go and showcase why yours won't do that. My name is Sean and I run ads for brands like yours. This is our specialty and is what we do. I think I can help you scale your brand. What's your plan? Repaid media into going for? So a bunch of things here. And the reason I've written this like this, and I'm going to slow down on this point. There's a massive difference in just saying, hey, we notice you. We have this, we've helped other people. Let me know, I can help you. Because it's missing that thing, right? The thing is this. The thing is that if you were manually looking at watching their ad, and if you're actually very good at ads, you should be able to watch the ad and be able to say, this is what I would fix. Ultimately, what you want to say to them when you get on the phone call, you can say to them in the email right now. So if I was doing this phone call, right, I would get on the phone call and say, guys, I watched 5 of your videos, and ultimately, the hook isn't strong enough. The script isn't strong enough. The structure isn't strong enough. The way we could do the following stuff. Here's 10 examples of other people who are doing better ads than you. So here's a supplement brand doing it better than you, and here's your brand and you're not doing it as good. You should do it like this, right? Then they'd be like, interesting. Okay. And then naturally you'd be like, well, if you paid us, we could do this stuff for you. We would script for you. We would do this for you, that for you. So for me, the biggest thing is that you need to be able to do that in order for someone to respond to you. And again, the context here is right, because this is exactly how I've signed some of the biggest clients and brands in the world. I didn't start out like that, and I'm sure you're in a position today where you're like just trying to get some clients because you're trying to increase how much you make. But ultimately, the goal is to get paid the most you possibly can from the biggest people in the world. And when I'm going to say people, ultimately just businesses, because that's how you make the most money, right? And that's how you'll scale your business. The more LTV you can make per client, the bigger you will get over the years. So, and I'm going to actually show you a real life example of me. So, you may have seen Ashton Hall, who's gone massively big for, his morning routine, which has been trending. He's actually a client of mine, and I've been working on him with a couple of deals ever since that's happened. But this is how we sent a hot outreach email to sign him. And this is from my team 2 years ago. You can see the date. Actually, it's 3 years ago now. Hey, Ashton, how's it going? I noticed that you're still selling your own fitness programs, but you don't have an app, and I do. You're probably missing out on 50K per month. Mainly for 3 reasons. No one likes you to use a PDF to follow a workout. Using an app is the most effective way, just like you use your Telegram, Instagram, Spotify while training. All leading fitness creators have apps, and it makes the most money. You have a subscription, which means you're making money each month. Then immediately, at Gemflow, we help creators like yourself. Here's some of the people that we did help, yes. So the main thing on this outreach is that we are really honing in on the reasons why, it would work. And ultimately, you can't scrape this, right? Someone has had to sit and look at his funnel, look at his website, my team had, because that's essentially how we train them, to be able to sit and identify the problems and then lead with the value that how you can actually fix that problem for them. It goes on to say how we work, blah, blah, blah. Love to tell you more, let us know. And to that, he came back. We ended up having a meeting. Then I met him up in LA. And we ended up signing him and essentially launched a mobile app for him. Look, if you kind of like, this sounds interesting, etc. Something that we've actually done very, very recently is that at Gemflow, we've launched a new division and it's called Agency 8X. Ultimately, for the first time ever, we're bringing on agencies as clients to help them scale. Historically, I work with creators and we work with brands, and I launch my own brands. I invest in brands. But for the very first time, we're bringing on agencies to help them scale, mainly because we've been through it. We know it. We've scaled our agency. Me and my leadership team are have built one of the biggest, most successful agencies in the world. Last year, we did $23 million in actual revenue. You'll be able to check our accounts on Companies House that show that. So if you want to book a call with my team, if you want some help, book a call. It's a link down below and we can see maybe we can help you. With that being said, let's continue. I will be breaking down my framework and how to do outreach. But just before that, let's cover a few more very important things. So I guess why does this automated cold outreach wouldn't be the best thing for you, right? And I have a few points here. So firstly, everyone sounds the same. The truth is inboxes are flooded with lookalike emails that scream this was auto-generated. And the truth is everybody knows in 2 seconds if this is an automated email. It's just facts, because it's so common now that you just know by reading it, just the way it's worded, the syntax, the way it comes across, that is this automated? Because someone like me, right, I can see where the triggers were. I can see the curly brackets. And honestly, everybody can. Everybody can. Maybe, if your ICP is mom and pop shops or whatever, firstly, good luck to you if that's your business model, because it's just tough, And if you're running an agency today that's trying to do roofing services for local businesses because that's what some guy told you is the best way to scale, is to niche down, bro, and find some untapped place like beauty salons in Venice Beach and you're going to help them. That's just tough, and good luck to you, because you're trying to do a micro business in a micro place, which is just going to be tough, right? But any normal scenario where you're trying to do a business in the right way, people will know, anyone on the internet will know this is an auto-generated email. Especially when you're leading with a question like, hey, do you want me to send you a video? Just let me know and I'll send you a quick 15-minute Loom. It's so played out that it's tough. And the reason I'm saying it in this way is because I want you to realize that you are banking your future on a strategy which is just going to be tough, right? Why would you do that? Fake personalization, obviously people call it personalization, but it's not personalization, because you're just scraping some information and then saying, because I put it into my template, it's now personalized. For me, personalization is where you as a person are identifying something and you are adding your actual knowledge and skill into it. That makes it really personal. It's not personalization by scraping the clients of someone's website or looking at the employee count or looking at what they talked about in the last post on LinkedIn so you can put a snippet in it. It's not personalization. Ultimately, you are scraping information and adding it to your template. There's nothing personal about it. Ultimately, as I said, there's no real insight to thingy. Shallow personalization, just talked about it. Over-reliance on tools. Ultimately, you have to keep this game of finding leads, verifying them, buying inboxes, buying domains. You're just constantly becoming a tool junkie, and you're getting further away from what actually matters, is that can you consult people? Will people actually want to work with you? And the thing that really matters. So you put so much effort into getting your system up and running, and very, very easily cannot work. Ultimately, there's no emotional or human hook. Without a human angle, email is instantly forgettable. It just facts, because it's just never going to be personalized. And what I was saying here, ultimately, it's a spam game. You are banking your future on the latest, best automated AI cold outreach strategy on essentially spamming people. Let's just say what it is. You're going to spam thousands and thousands of people, and hopefully some of them will come back to you and want to do some business with you. What's crazy is, so in all this journey of me doing this, I actually wanted to, actually went ahead and set some up for Gemflow just to do it as a test. And we scraped 100,000 emails, bought all the inboxes, did all that stuff. And because the truth is, even though I've been in the game for this long, you always still maybe there's this new shit is that good. Maybe I'm wrong, right? And I always like to test myself, question myself. So we ran it, and the funniest thing is most people that do respond are just stop spamming me. What is this? And I was like, this is like the worst way to grow your business, because why would you want to, ruin your reputation? In simple words. Ultimately, right, like this is how it works. So like assume you're going to get 10% open rate, 1% of those calls will book through. The more emails you send, the more you'll close. And that's how most people think, right? Like that's actually what's going to happen. But in reality, the more leads you buy, the further you're away from going from your ICP, right? Because for this to work, right, like conceptually, everyone thinks like if I just get 3 million leads, then I'm just going to sign so many clients. But the more you keep basically like buying leads or finding lists of leads, the further away you're getting. The further away you're getting from people you can actually help, because there's so much nuance to who are you physically able to help, and not because of the skills that you actually have, that it's not just a case of getting non-stop email lists of businesses that you think are your ICP. So the truth is, the more you have to, the more cold outreach you try to do this automated buying leads way, the further away you're getting from the people that actually you could help. Just by logic, you are. The quality of people on the calls will reduce as that happens. And ultimately, as I was saying, it's bad for your reputation. Spamming people all the time, it won't take long for someone to think, right, this, for them to Google you and who you are and everything else, right? And before you know it, you're that guy that everybody's like, oh, did you get this email? And you don't want to be that guy, right? Because you want to get on a call with somebody one day, and you don't want it to be that that's what they think about you. That isn't this the guy that like spams everybody because everybody knows about it in the industry? And that happens. It's happened to me so many times. So many times I've been on the other side of that, be like, and I see it online all the time. Not only that, one of the worst things as well for your reputation is that you keep buying these inboxes, and ultimately, if someone was to Google that inbox, the domain, most of the domains are dead. People are so bad at doing it, they don't even like forward the domains. Like at least forward all your domains to the main domain. But again, all these small things, you're trying to convince a business owner to give you money. All of these things make you look like a shady character. If I'm sending you an email from a domain that doesn't exist, or it's forwarded to another domain, immediately it's red flags, right? It's like, what is this guy doing? Why is he emailing me from like fake domains? Or why has he set up this domain which doesn't exist? I can't find it anywhere. I can't find anything about this domain, and now it's being forwarded to another domain. So what you think is like a cool hack and doing this, from a real business sense, it's almost laughable that is your approach to wanting to scale your business. That you're going to buy domains, spam people, and hope to book some calls. And then you'll get on those calls and then, hopefully have enough experience to be able to, whatever thing you said in your personalized email, that you can actually deliver. So in summary, what is this whole thing missing, right? This whole cold outreach automated way is missing the key thing, which is you are not clearly stating the problem you can actually solve. And then it's so much easier to get on the call and close that client because the context is already there. And how do you do that, right? You want to research the prospect's problems, and proposing the best solution takes human effort. It really does. And yes, you have the time. And yes, 20 more clients will probably change your business. So for you to be able to sit and do that yourself is the way to do it. I don't care how good AI has gotten and everything else, and it's not an old school way that I'm saying. You can still use all the tools to be able to help better prepare you to be able to send a manual, handwritten email to somebody to tell them exactly what you can do for them. Yeah, I can personalize, but composition offers as a solution to each prospect's unique problems, yet at least it can't. 100 emails that get replies are better than 1,000 that are ignored or seen as spam. Which is why we use Hotjar Outreach to only sign clients. And again, just a quick note to say, this approach has worked on like the smartest people in the world in order for me to sign them. And I was nobody, right? Like my background was I was an accountant. I launched my agency, and today I do every service you can possibly think of. E-com, digital marketing, manufacturing products, running whole info products, funnels, paid ads, like every single thing you can imagine, we do at my agency. And every single time, hot outreach is the answer, because we sit, we look at our ICPs, we create a framework for figuring out what problems could they possibly have. For example, one of the easiest things to do, go to a brand's page, if it says a DTC brand, check if they have the pixel installed. If not, immediately it's like, okay, they're not even running ads. So let's sell them the fact that they need to run ads and what's going to happen. But let's also show them other competitors and what are they doing and why they're behind. Or they are running ads. There is a pixel there. Let's jump on the ad library. Let's physically check the creatives and then actually say, hey guys, I saw this ad of yours and, this is how I would do it better. And the best thing about doing hot outreach, you can send links. You have no deliverability issues. Why? Because you're not spamming. These are not fresh inboxes. If you use your actual email address that you actually use for your business, it will always land in most people's inboxes. It's crazy when I say that to people. They're like, well, I'm just like, nah, bro, you can't put a link. You can't put a link in the email, deliverability. Or it's like, what are you talking about? If you use your actual inbox that you actually use to run your business and send emails to your colleagues and other people and to your rent and whoever else that you physically talk to via email, your email is going to be perfectly fine. I say that. I cold emailed The Rock and his team responded to me. Like, it will go in inbox. Trust me. And especially the better emails that you write, the better responses you get, it will just always be a good email that you could use forever. 10 years later, my email deliverability is still perfect from my email. I can email anybody in the world and they will get my email because I've always done it the right way and we've never spammed. And that's the answer. That's what you need to do. So it's very, very important to understand that by you sitting, going back to what I was saying, I'm looking at the ad library. I'm like, okay, this is what you're going to do. And I send that. It will take me some time, yes, but it will work. So let's jump into how do you physically do that, right? And I guess that's what you're wondering right now. So let's get to the point of, okay, so if you're not doing this automated cold outreach, you're not spending all this time buying inboxes and doing all this stuff, what are you actually doing? This is all you have to do every single day. You're going to have to sit and do 20 minutes of research. You have to find a problem/opportunity in your ICP. Ultimately, what does that mean? Say the problem you have found. Your website is slow. Your podcast clips are edited poorly. Your current funnel for your brand is flawed. Mention something about them that is not obvious. I listened to what you said in X post or podcast. You have a TikTok account but no TikTok shop. You're not using email automations. Any maybe connection that you have with them, whatever. The point is you're finding a problem/opportunity. Sometimes it's hard to find a problem, so it's more about the opportunity because they're not doing something, right? So some things are more opportunistic in nature. Like back to running ads, right? You can say it's a problem that you're not running ads, or you can say it's a missed out on the opportunity because of what you can do, right? So it's just the angle. But ultimately, you are clearly saying something about them. The email has to start with them because you are trying to tell them, hey, I got something for you, right? But then this is the kicker. This is the biggest difference that cold automated way could never do, which is you say what the fix is, give it away and show your actual skill. The amount of people message me saying, Sean, your YouTube sucks. I could get you better retention. I can increase your retention. I'm like, but how could you? Nobody out of all the YouTube guys, and there'll be guys commenting on this video saying, hey, Sean, I can help make your YouTube 3 times better. It's like, but how can you? How could you even say that? You don't have my data. You don't have my analytics. You don't nothing. You're just saying that as your pitch. And then you're probably going to say, I'll guarantee the results in 90 days or whatever. But the point is you don't know that. The right answer, if you're pitching me right now and you're watching this and you want to pitch me, you should say, Sean, I watched the video. These are the mistakes that I found. Here's a Google Doc. I would change the hook like this. I think the pacing was slow. I think you went off topic 10 times. I think you did this wrong, that wrong, this wrong. Here's how I would do that. And if you really want to work with me, if you re-edited the video, now you got my attention. That is what it takes. So you have to show your actual skill. If you're gatekeeping it, I had someone email me saying, Sean, I can't do that because that's going to take too much of my time. And what if the guy doesn't want it? It's like, then you're just not going to win, right? It's like, that's the whole thing. You don't want to do the work, but you still want to sign clients, or you want to make more money and you want to build your business. You have to do the work. And this middle bit basically is the answer to everything. Whoever's the best in the world, they have no shame, or, they're not shy in showing you why they're the best in the world. Give them the answer, whatever you want them to pay you for. Give them something right now in this email. Examples. If you change your email to long form, you'll easily get 20% more open rate difference, right? So this is like you could sign up to someone's email, look at it, analyze it, and give them feedback. I re-edited your videos of yours. Here's why. People try this with me, but they don't say what they did. They're just like, hey, Sean, I re-edited it. I click on it and it's like worse than my current one. It's like, But I'm thinking it's worse. But tell me why it's better. Tell me why you did what you did. Show me your knowledge. People hire people for their knowledge, for their experience, for what they know, not because of the offer. The craziest thing to me is people out there it's all about the offer. It's like, no, it's not. Offer has nothing to do with it. It's about your value. What can you actually do for me? I looked at your engagement, the website traffic, and think TikTok Shop would sell around to the thing is, just to make sense. Ultimately, like, you looked at your engagement on TikTok, they should say, and you can say if you did a TikTok, shop, how much they could sell, right? Like, because you're saying to them they should start one, and obviously you can help them do that. Then finally move into the third part of your template where it's about yourself. Finally, you want to talk about yourself. You're going to be like, okay, I am Sean from X. I have done X, Y, Z. I think I can help you get you there, right? Because it's the whole thing is like, problem, here's the solution. I'm the guy to help you install this solution. Let's move forwards. The other massive thing, which is the complete opposite of thing. So we never want to say, let's get on a call. Let me know if you would like to. I'll send you a 15-minute Loom. None of that stuff. If you have a Loom, you should be sending it in the first video. The truth is you don't. Everybody knows that, now if I respond, then you're going to go and quickly film something and send it to me. It's like, nah, man. If you ain't got time for me, I ain't got time for you. And that's how people think. And that is the truth. Again, you don't like what I'm saying. You probably don't think it's scalable. You probably don't think it's for you. All I can say is it's what I've used to, as far as I know, we're one of the biggest agencies in the world, and how much revenue we have driven. Outside of the big, massive billion-dollar agencies like the CAAs and stuff of the world, WPP, etc., we're one of the most successful when it comes to cold, sitting at home, building an agency from scratch, signing clients from my bedroom to where we are today, where we have offices in 4 countries and a team of 100 plus and work with some of the biggest people in the world. It's all through this approach. So what you want to do is you have to leave the CTA as an open loop. Always end with a question. What do you think of the short form content? Have you bought anything from TikTok Shop? What do you think of the hook that I'm suggesting? Open loop, which basically means they need to respond. Any business founder today, if I'm like, I have found a problem, here is a solution, I can help you, and you're instigating a conversation, that person's going to want to be like, tell me more. And that is the whole thing. Because with the email, we are using human psychology and trying to have a conversation with somebody, but make it very impactful. Imagine you walked up to someone in real life. It essentially is how you'd want to have that conversation, right? So you're emulating that in an email format. So even though, yes, cold outreach is amazing what it can do today, I think if you were to depend on that as your way for you to get clients, I think it's a mistake. If you just look at the math of the scenario, ultimately, let's say you got 10,000 leads, 50 people respond, you book some meetings, you maybe close some clients, whatever, right? And the effort of doing that. In my case, if I was to send 100 emails manually, I would get a very high response rate. Yes, that looks crazy, but it's true because you are actually taking the effort to do it. Meetings will get booked and you will they'll just be way warmer leads. They will love you. The approach will be different because they've not come because they want to jump on a call and find out about this other brand that got these results in 90 days, right? Like the example that you saw. Like calls get booked for so many other reasons besides the primary reason. Here, when calls get booked, they get booked for the primary reason, which is, I told you your ads suck and I told you how you need to improve them. So the call is very warm from the very beginning because you jump on the call and you're like, hey man, let's keep the conversation going, right? And most likely because you do an open loop in your email, you'll actually have a good conversation in the email itself even before you get on that call. And I have a whole nother video about how to actually do the sales call. So check that out. And I think that I go through in detail what to do in the actual sales calls. And again, my approach is so different to what the market says. And essentially you have to do a 2-step approach and why that works. Let's say though, I follow everybody online and I see what people say. So let's say what's the best case scenario in the cold way, right? You send 3 million emails, you're paying probably for about 100 inboxes. One typo ruins thousands of emails. Bad emails damage reputation at scale. Spam triggers basically are getting better every single day and it's just making it hard. let's say you book 2,000 meetings in the best case scenario. Like, how are you doing these meetings, by the way, right? Like, that's 6 months of sales calls, only 8 hours a day. You have to have a whole team. And the calls definitely will not be as good as you think they would be, because, again, the reason is never going to be that warm. And then the chance of you finally converting all of them and making money, whatever. Instead, if you just did it the manual way, it would just be so much better. Ultimately, cold is all about that. It's going to work with basically anybody that responds. You burn out because, it's the whole premise is incorrect. It's the wrong way around. And ultimately, you'll have high churn even, because if some of those clients come in, they never came in for your value. Ultimately, my method leads to you are, by design, going after clients that you want to work for, that you will actually enjoy working with, that would actually be fun, right? Because you're sitting and saying, okay, I love this sort of brands, so I want to work for them. For me, I love, I'm very into being someone at my peak performance. Naturally, that's why I started following someone like Chris Williamson, right? So for me to be able to then work with him is absolutely insane. And I have that so many times happen to me in my career. And that's how you build a scalable agency. People always say agencies are not scalable. We're here scaling every single year because you're scaling in the right way, right? Because I am trying to work with people and industries and spaces and services that I have a natural interest in, that I have the ability to then solve because I'm building those skills. So you keep building your skills, and you keep trying to work with people and industries and types of brands and types of products or whatever in things that you're interested in. So naturally, you're going to do a better job on that. Versus if I'm trying to help get leads for dentists or whatever, right? Like, you just don't care about that. People think an untapped niche is like, yo, golden. It's like, no. The reason it's untapped is because it's boring. Who wants to do that? Nobody. Who wants to have like lame ass clients or offline clients? I had a call with an agency founder recently, and I was like, man, like, why are you working for like this niche, like these people? It must be so fucking boring. And they're like, yeah, it is. We just thought it's like a great opportunity. Business comes from like this. If you work with people and spaces and industry and things that you do that you actually enjoy, you will work that much harder at it and naturally scale at it because the conversation is natural. Imagine getting on a call with a potential client and you're talking about things that you're interested in, like the UFC, whatever. It's so warm that a relationship begins. And a relationship is how you scale, because if you follow me, you know what I stand for. You're not only going to sell them one service, you're then going to try to sell them multiple services and increase the lifetime value of that client. I've also linked down below a free resource for you. Ultimately, what my team has done is we've mapped and done like 50 templates of examples of doing hot outreach. We've also done clients and a bunch of other stuff. So you can click down below, get that free resource. And once again, if you want my team's help to scale your agency with some of the stuff we've been talking about, book a call with us. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll take some of the advice on board and start using my hot outreach method to help you get more clients and scale your business. I'll see you in the next video.